Hello, everyone. My name is Kapches. I'm here to give you the November market report for the Greater Toronto Area. I'm going to start with the numbers, and candidly, the numbers are not pretty, but then again, they haven't been for the better part of 5 or 6 months. In November, we saw 4,544 sales for the Greater Toronto Area. That's almost a 50% decline compared to last year. Again, comparisons to last year, height of the pandemic, are literally apples to oranges, but we use them when we are analyzing statistics. But even separate and apart from an analysis of last year to this year, we have to go back almost 15 years to see numbers as low as what we saw in November of this year, compared to, as I said, almost 15 years ago. So we're kind of historically low. So it's not just a pandemic market comparison. We also saw the average sale price not as dramatically go down by a little over 7%. So at the end of November, the average sale price for the Greater Toronto Area is $1,079,000. Still pretty lofty, and it's important that we keep that number in mind for the information that I'm going to provide you as this market report goes on. These numbers that are coming out, they're driven by one factor and one factor alone, namely the continual rise in the benchmark rate by the Bank of Canada in its crusade to get control of inflation and to bring inflation numbers down. As you know, the benchmark rate now is 4.25%. It was only in February and March, 0.25%. So an increase, I know this sounds startling, but an increase of 1,600% over that time span. That has had an incredible impact, negative impact, on mortgage interest rates, and in turn, a negative impact on the resale market. Mortgage interest rates today are somewhere in the neighborhood for 5-year term, a little over 5%. Depending on which lender you go to, you might get a little bit less than that, but in that range, 5 to 0.25%. So that has had a stultifying effect on buyers' ability to purchase the homes, even though they've come down in value and in price, to purchase homes, given affordability issues that these interest rates have created. Then on top of that, we have, of course, the federal stress testing, which adds another 2 points to the qualifying process, making it even more difficult for people to get into the market. But I just pulled out some data in preparation for the meeting. It comes from the Bank of Canada. The Bank of Canada did an affordability study. A couple of things that come out of their study. First of all, they've concluded that in Canada, the average household is now spending about 67% on servicing debt if they bought the average price property in their particular community. In addition to that, they looked at what you need to make as a household if you want to buy a condominium apartment in Toronto, and if you want to buy a freehold property in Toronto. In the case of a freehold property, valued at approximately $1.2 million, they concluded that you need a household income of $273,000. That's a lot of money. And on top of that, they've also concluded that you need 361 months of savings, which amounts to 30 years. That's a long time to be saving in order to buy that $1.2 million house, assuming that you've been making $273,000. Average household income in the GTA is a little over $100,000. So you can see how lofty that pricing is and the stress on affordability. In addition to that, if you wanted to buy the cheapest housing form, which condominium apartment, they estimated that on average it's $738,000. That's consistent with our November numbers. You need a household income of $174,000, and you need 65 months of savings, 5.5 years. Again, this is not an easy affordability task for most people who want to get into the market. So when you've got those kinds of numbers, what needs to happen? Well, it is already happening. Average prices have to come down. In February and in March of this year, which was only a few months ago, our average sale price was coming in at excess of $1.3 million. As I just mentioned a few moments ago, the average sale price is now $1,079,000. If the bank rate stays where it is and mortgage interest rates stay where they are, given those affordability numbers that I just mentioned, the only thing that can happen is that the average sale price has to come down. It already has in the GTA come down by almost 20% since the lofty height of February and March's numbers. In all likelihood, if there's no change on the mortgage interest rate front, we're probably going to have to see a further reduction in the average sale price by perhaps another 10% in order to make those affordability numbers that I just mentioned feasible for households to get into the market. So that's where we find ourselves as we look at the November numbers. Now, next month, December, the end of the year, I'm going to do an analysis of where the year went, and I'm also going to do an analysis and a forecast as to where I think 2023 is going to go as far as the resale housing market in the GTA. So until then, please stay safe, and I look forward to providing you that report next month. Thank you.